and language.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
You write your first draft with your heart. And you rewrite with your head.
Seize the day.
Welcome to the Writers Showcase. This is where we have a round table of writers of different genres, and we take questions from you, the wonderful viewer or listener. And we also discuss things like the writing process, maybe the highs, the lows, the advice we may or may not be given to aspiring writers out there, and so on and so forth. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions for our guests, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. If you're joining us live or on a replay, thank you for doing that. Do not forget to like and share this with your closest friends. Even if your best friend just happens to be a shark named Bruce, who's apparently turning 50 in a couple of weeks, which scares the living heck out of me to go back into the water. Thanks for that, guys. But with that being said, please welcome our wonderful roundtable of guests and wonderful writers, starting with ladies first. Kelsey is here. Hello, Kelsey. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, we're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. Thanks for thanks for being here. Can't do this without you. And I see your wonderful little Star Wars action figure in the background. That's
yes,
lovely.
I have Princess Leia here welcoming.
Yay! Even better. We miss you, Carrie Fisher. We do. We love you. We miss you. We wish, and we are going to remember you for all times. Hashtag Princess Leia kicks tail. With that being said, please welcome intrepid reporter of the Daily Planet, a librarian, moonlighting as a librarian, but she also just happens to be the Phoenix. The Phoenix, not just any Phoenix. No. One half of the Phoenix Sisters cosplay. Kelly is here. Hello, Kelly. Welcome back. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Kelly. It's great to see you again. And also joining us on this episode of the Writers Showcase, please welcome Sean Taylor to the stage. Hello, Sean. How are you today?
Hey. How you guys doing? Glad to be here.
We're doing well. Thanks for being with us. That's one way to enter a room and just do circles with everyone's hands.
Supposed to mesmerize you into buying all of my books, Ryan.
Oh, is these the Jedi mind tricks? Is that where we're going with? I mean, it could be. I don't know. Well, we thank you for being here nonetheless. And also join us is, well, let me put it to you this way, folks. Our next guest, you yell Barracuda. Everyone says, huh? What? You yell Bobby Nash. And we got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July. Hello, Bobby Nash. How are you? Good to see you, my man.
It's good. I you know what? That's going to be my intro for everything I do from now on. That's awesome. Thank you.
Gee willikers, you are so welcome. I've been waiting to share that with you for a good while now because I figured, this guy loves the shark movie Jaws so much. I got to come up with something creative for him. Why not just drop a line in there and then say, when we yell Bobby Nash, we just got a panic on our hands. It's
right.
In the best way possible, right? There's no problem here.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, it's good to see you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. So we're going to go around the table, ask a series of questions. But if you who are watching and listening to this have questions, please, by all means, let us know. More than happy to take them as they come in, respectively. With that piece of business, I should say, out of the way. Question to the field. Question number 1. Kelsey, what in your mind makes a great book?
That's a good question. Oh, the first things popping into my head is a compelling narrative. That it's going to take a book is going to take me to a place that I don't want to say necessarily I've never been before, because sometimes there's comfort in the familiarity, but a story that needs to jump off the page and be told.
Okay. Gotcha. No worries. All right. Nice. All right. Good stuff. I appreciate that. That's really good. Kelly, you're the librarian over there at the library in Cairo, Egypt. What in your mind makes a great book, Evie?
So I need characters that I care about. And to be clear, these characters do not necessarily need to be likable. They don't need to be characters that I would hang out with in real life. They need to be interesting. And they just need to be characters that I want to spend time with narratively and that drive the story forward and that are just interesting to unpack through the story.
All right. I dig it. Good way to start. Sean Taylor, what in your mind makes a great book? What do you think?
It's got to have a story. And I'm very particular when I talk about a story, because to me, a story It's that weird magic that happens. It's that magical baby when plot and characters get together. And to me, I need, like was just said, I need characters who are compelling in some way, and I need a plot that gives them something to do to show me how compelling they are. And I need a lot more than just a plot or just characters. I need those two things to get together and work as a team to keep me absolutely entertained and glued. So yeah, that's for me what makes a good book is a story, that magical mishmash of plot and character.
Right on, man. Right on. So, Bobby, I'm just curious. Is the only thing that makes a great book a giant shark named Bruce with big teeth, or is it something else that I'm missing here?
Nah. Well, what they said. I mean, they covered the biggest parts of it. Yeah. For me, I love characters. Characters. I can if my characters are compelling, and I either fall in love or fall in hate with those particular characters. Characters can save a weak story. I have yet to find a great story that survives weak characters for me as a reader. I kind of have to. I need something to invest in. Also, as a reader, if I start reading a book and it's hard for me to stop, I know I'm on to something great. Because sometimes it's like, okay, I've got to go to bed. One more chapter. Those are the books that I know that I'm reading something that's got me hooked.
Right on. Not hooked on a shark, but hooked on a good story. Sorry.
Hooked on
Had to throw it in there, man.
I figured I'll say it before Sean does.
Mm-hmm. No, it's fine. It's fine. I just had to throw it in there because, yeah, Bobby and I have this little thing going on between Jaws and whatnot. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Inside humor, fellas. Inside humor. But thank you all for answering that. It's a great way to kick things off here. So if you do have a favorite spot, Kelly, where's your favorite spot to write when you have the opportunity to do so?
In my bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's super comfy, and my room is cozy, and yeah, just like to get all cozy, and that is the best spot.
It's cozy. It's cozy. No, it's fine. I had nothing wrong with that at all. What about you, Kelsey? Favorite spot to write?
I made my office pretty cozy. To be able to sit. I have one of those wide seated chairs so that I can sit crisscross because I don't like sitting normally. So either that or downstairs on my couch in my living room with my husband, and he'll be playing a video game, and I'll be sitting there writing.
Awesome sauce. Sounds about right. What about you, Sean Taylor? Favorite spot to write when you have the opportunity to do so?
When I have the opportunity to do so, it's down at my late grandmother's house. I love to go there. I'll try to spend 2 weeks and just take a writer's retreat, actually, and knock out short stories. I wrote a 30,000 word novella there once, knocked it out in 2 weeks. That was fun. Yeah, that's my absolute favorite place to write if I can, but I obviously been doing this for going on 30 whatever years now that you learn you can write anywhere. If I can't be there, I like to be at a coffee shop somewhere, because to me that simulates an office environment. And when I need that break, I can go people. And then when I don't need the people, I can go put my earbuds back in and not people and just listen to brown noise or white noise. So yeah, my druthers is my grandmother's house. But if I don't have that option, I like to write in a coffee house, in a coffee shop.
All right. Nice, man. Nice. That's you're late. You said late grandmother's house. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. That's respectable. Yeah. Writer's retreat. Yay. Wish I could go to a quiet place for 2 weeks and get away from it all.
I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I don't even get good cell service. So there are no distractions. I can't even get on the internet. Really, I think there's one area I can walk out in the yard and go, okay, I have a bar so I can call my wife today, kind of thing. But yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere, no distractions. It's nice and peaceful, and time slows down to, less than zero. So.
Well, that's good. At least your times with these writers' retreats at the household and everything like that ends a lot better than it did for Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler back in the day when they were in a little cabin in the woods called The Strangers. Anybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't end well for those two. Sorry, no. We still like you guys though. Scott, Liv, if you're watching this, we still love you. With that being said, Bobby, favorite place to write?
I love sitting out on my back porch. I have a screened-in back porch. I love sitting out there. Oh, I have a swing that hangs from the ceiling. One that's a big like bench swing. I can sit in the swing. I have a table I take out and sit out there. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, I live in Georgia, where it's only comfortable maybe 2 weeks out of the year to do that. So most of the time I'm here at the desk writing. But like Sean said, I've learned how to write almost anywhere. I've written, my dad and I like to travel at least once a week. We'll take like a day-long road trip. And I will get ideas while we're writing on the road, and I'm not driving. So, but I've typed out whole chapters on my phone, writing down the road. I pay for it with the headache after, but yeah, I've discovered I can write pretty much anywhere. It's just as long as it's kind of peaceful. I
Nothing
can't
wrong
write with the TV on.
No.
I don't write as well in restaurants and places like that. I've tried, and I'm too busy paying attention to what everybody else is doing. So yeah, those aren't as productive for me.
Peace and quiet always works. Yeah.
Yes, very helpful.
Mm-hmm. If I'm at my keyboard writing, it's one thing, but sometimes it's kind of distracting because I have my phone next to me, and my phone likes to go off every couple of seconds. Notifications, gosh darn it! But outside of that, I can just put that away, put that to the side, and go to my local library and sit there and do some writing. The local library is not a bad spot to do it either.
The little rooms, sometimes if you can get the little rooms that are empty, those are perfect.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. He's got a point. This is why we pay Bobby Nash the non-existent big dollars on the show, which we thank you for saying that nonetheless. Support your local libraries, folks. It's a good way to get your writing done, and maybe you could find something you didn't expect to find before. Once again, this is the Writer Showcase on the Night Quote channel. Do not forget to like and share with all of your closest buddies. If you have any questions for us, let us know in the comments of the chat. And if you're joining this live or on the replay specifically, hello there. There you go. Star Wars reference. It's still May. Okay, we'll go with it. It's still May. All right.
This is the May.
It is. This is. Yes, I didn't even think of that, Kelly. But thank you. This is. I didn't. I should have thought of that. Don't we have we need to make a T-shirt that says that. Is there a T-shirt out there that says this is the May? Can we do that?
There probably is because I did not come up with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's done that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to look on what's our friend Etsy or TeePublic maybe, Kelly. We got to look at this.
Yes.
Great point, by the way. I love that. Outside of favorite spots to write, outside of the stuff, those of you who published wonderful stories over the years, Kelsey, what do you like to read?
I like to read romance, sci-fi, fantasy, and romantasy mostly, but I'll dabble in other genres if someone recommends a book to me, or if I'm supporting like an indie author that I know.
Ah, good. All right, excellent. Got a few flavors there. What about you, Kelly? What do you like to read?
Fantasy, sci-fi, fairy tales, which is kind of fantasy adjacent, murder mysteries, some romance, a little bit of everything.
So a little bit of Baskin Robbins 31 flavors for you. Is that it?
Exactly?
Okay. All right. We're all going to Baskin Robbins after this. Great. Thanks, guys.
All right, works for me.
Baskin Robbins always finds out.
That's right.
I haven't heard that. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard a reference to that movie in a long, long, long time, Kelly. Oh gosh. When did that come out? Does that have an anniversary coming up that we can celebrate on the movie Watch Along one day? Maybe Kelly can sit in on the panel for that, can't she? Yeah, we'll make it happen, guys. We'll make it happen. Paul Rudd, you're invited to come on and hang out with us, buddy.
Yes, please.
For sure. Baskin Robbins always finds out, Paul. They always do. And Paul Rudd never seems to age either. He's got the immortality genes there. Good for him. Whether he's got the facial hair or not. But Bobby, what do you like to read?
I like to read a lot of thrillers, mysteries, murder, action, adventure, stuff like that. I do read some sci-fi, media tie-in stuff. I enjoy reading those. I still read comic books. I enjoy a good comic story. A little bit of everything. I like was mentioned before. I know a lot of other writers, and so I try to support other writers. So sometimes I'll read things that might not be my go-to genre, but I read other people's books to enjoy those as well. So yeah, just whatever really strikes my fancy. But I have a handful of authors that if they put out a new book, I know I'm going to buy it. And most of those tend to be either the thrillers or sci-fi.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Awesome sauce. What about you, Sean Taylor? What do you like to read?
Primarily, the thing I like to read most is short stories. I love to read short stories. They're harder and harder to find nowadays, but I just really love short stories. If I'm doing short stories, genre really doesn't matter to me. I just like well-written, good in and out short stories. As far as genres for longer things, it's probably easier to say what I don't like to read as much. Fantasy, I know people love fantasy. I got really burned out on fantasy as a teenager, and I just really haven't gone back to fantasy much. I have read a little bit of urban fantasy that I enjoyed. But the stuff I enjoy more than anything is like detective stories. The more hard-boiled or noirish, the better. I like, adventure stuff. I like horror. I love, I don't consider them a genre, but more a medium, but graphic novels. Particularly, I like to, read like the horror and the dark mystery kind of graphic novels too. I'm not so much into the mainstream superhero stuff as I used to be. But yeah, I don't read romance really at all, although I want romance in my stories that I am reading. I do want an element of romance. I just don't typically read the genre romance. But yeah, other than fantasy or romance, I really read just about everything. And my favorite stuff to read are authors who cross genres all the time. Like I think last time we were on, I talked about how much I love Kurt Vonnegut and how he was, you couldn't pin him into a genre because it might be a sci-fi-esque story about, people in a hospital, or a guy who is time jumping, but it's really a war story, and I love that kind of thing. Those things that are hard to really nail down into a genre, but those are hard to find. So if I find something like that, it's good. I've also, because I'm a literary teacher, an English teacher, literature teacher, I should say, I love to read things that have a connection to famous literary works. Like I'm currently reading Beautiful Little Fools, which is a retelling of The Great Gatsby from the women's perspective in that story. And that's been really good. So.
Oh my goodness. Well done, old sport. Sorry. I had to say it. I've seen Leo DiCaprio's iteration of Great Gatsby. I dug it. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I started calling my friends like old sport this, old sport that. I was really trying to become Leo. And it worked for a little bit, and then it kind of got tiresome after the first 2 weeks. People were like, dude, I'm not that old, bro. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just used to saying it because Leo's so good at saying it in Great Gatsby. Sue me.
I don't think
well, see, I am that old, and so I was trying to be Robert Redford. So.
Oh, Redford's iteration? Okay, that's fair.
I don't think Gatsby is someone either of you would want to aspire to.
Probably
not.
God,
no.
He doesn't end up that.
But he's a liar. Yeah. Right?
Also,
nobody in that book is anybody I would like to know.
Also, Gatsby needs a grisly ending. So, like,
probably.
What do you mean, probably?
No. It has a good. No, I've seen the movie. We had to read the book when we were in. I think it was in high school. We had to read it at one point. So I know how it ends. It's not pretty. It's not good. Most of the characters, if not all of them, are very antagonistic. So you can't really root for anybody. I guess, right, Kelly? So
Yeah, they're all terrible people.
I'm sorry. I just like the catchphrase "old sport," But people got tired of it, and I kind of dropped the Leo accent, so it was fine. I got over it, Kelly. I got over it. It took therapy, but I got over it. It happens. By the way, real quick, as a bit of a follow up to that, Sean, does Sam Spade fit into that category of detective?
Oh, yeah.
Like old school.
Yeah, Sam Spade. I will. If I can ever find anything that I haven't read by either Hammett or Chandler, those will always rise to the top of my list. Mm-hmm. Those guys are amazing. Any of like Ed McBain's work or Evan Hunter, those will always rise up. Yeah. Spillane, really not as much. I like them, and I read them, but they really don't sit at the top of my list. But yeah, no, I really getting into Walter Mosley. Easy Rawlins is fantastic. I really dig that kind of thing where there's something at play more than just the story. And for him, it's the sort of racism in the world and the way the world was changing during that time that post World War II, post Korea even generation, and I like that kind of historical reality in the stuff that I like to read. So, and that's why I think a lot of the stuff like just straight sci-fi and straight fantasy doesn't do it for me, because it bypasses that real world stuff a lot of times, or it hides it in so many layers of symbol, or symbolicness, to where I'm just like, let's get a little closer, But that's just me.
No, I gotcha. I mean, anytime I'm having a conversation with a friend of mine and we kind of get to a bit of a serious point of the discussion, they ask me this question, what is it? And I say, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. There you go, guys. There you go. There's your there's your bogey quote for the night. Mr.
That whole question was just a setup for you to do that quote, wasn't it?
I can't help it.
I know the way you think now.
You do, because The Maltese Falcon is one of my favorite movies ever. It's so good.
It's a great movie.
Great film. If you haven't seen it, folks, you should definitely check out The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart and Mary Astor, I think it is. Very good stuff. Just throwing it out there. That's old school Hollywood, brother. Yeah. Would that be?
The book is good too. You might enjoy the book as well. So.
I might as well get myself a paperback copy of the book, Bobby. So if you know where a copy's laying around one of your local shops in the great state of Georgia, let me know. You can ship it to me. I'll pay the shipping, no problem. I'll pay you. You know what I mean? Like, you could ship it up here. I'll pay. It's a friend helping a friend. It's all good. Everybody wins here, guys. Folks, I should say. With that being said, great picks, by the way. That's good stuff. Sorry, I got Maltese Falcon and Bogey films on the brain now, Kelly. I got all these things rolling around in my head. But with that being said, next question to the field I'd like to ask, if possible, is, Kelly, in your mind, what are the rewards about being a writer?
It's cheaper than therapy, though that is actually a lie, because being a writer is so expensive. Okay, so seriously, I'm a writer because I can't not be. And it's wonderful to just create entire worlds from scratch. And the best part is when you write a story and it resonates with someone else and that person tells you about it. That is my absolute favorite thing. That is always the best day as a writer. People always say being a writer is solitary. And yeah, when you're actually writing the story, it is solitary, but those moments when someone connects with you over something you've created, that's my favorite part.
Wish I had a mic drop gif or a clip here that I could play for Kelly right now, but unfortunately we don't have it here. I know exactly. Thank you. Unfortunately, I don't have it here on set, but we're gonna add it to our list here a moment. It's called our to-do list, fellas. It gets a bit long after a while.
Actually,
do you?
This is the toy mic.
Oh, that's the one you have in your house.
I just happen to have that right next to me. You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh boy. Oh, this is why we love having these discussions. We never know what we're going to discover here, or even we didn't even know Kelly had all these magical props at her disposal. I had no
cosplayer.
The joy of doing it live.
Exactly. We'll do it live. There's a moment the interwebs won't forget, Bobby. Let me tell you, man. But outside of that craziness that ensued with Kelly dropping the mic, which
you have to give me the big screen so I can do it again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Kelly. Let's do this. Mark 2. Go ahead.
Boom.
There it is.
Now you can save that for future shows.
We can. We probably could. Hypothetically,
don't.
No, we won't. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. We'll send you a residual though, because you're awesome and you're one of the best writers in the world. So we got to give you credit there. Just throwing it out there, Kelly, because we love you.
I love you too.
Oh, we love doing this live, fellas. Where was I saying again? Oh, yes. Kelsey, the rewards about being a writer. What do you think?
I mean, that's a really hard one to follow up there.
I know.
So I think I'm going to go like
every 2.5 seconds.
What else am I supposed to do with the characters that are consistently talking in my head, except put them down, which is, I guess, a tangent to therapy. And so that's my process, is like these characters pop up and then they're like really loud, and so you put them down on paper and then see where they go from there. I think I would agree with Kelly that the moment that someone texts me or just reaches out and is like, this story was beautiful. It really hit home for me because of X, Y, and Z. That point of connection and bringing people together is, I think, one of the biggest rewards of being a writer.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. Excellent. That was my horrible impression of Mr. Burns. Sorry. But with that being said, Bobby, what are the rewards about being a writer from your standpoint?
Well, I like to kill people, and it's legal to do it in print.
Really?
Um, so that's yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. Like Kelsey said, I got all these characters talking to me. So it's fun. I enjoy making this stuff up. The stories are going to come to me. The characters are going to talk to me, whether I'm writing it down or not. So I might as well get them out of my head. But I will mirror what has been said so far about the connections, but not only the connections with readers, which are awesome. And it's great when someone comments on something that I've written and it affected them in some way. But there's also this wonderful community of other writers and artists and people that I've met along the way, who have become like lifelong friends because I've met them through this thing that I do. And that is, that's worth the price of admission alone. I have gotten to know some amazing people over the years doing this. And that's one of those, it was an unexpected bonus, but it's a wonderful bonus.
Good stuff. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Sean, the Bookman Taylor, just out of curiosity, what are the rewards about being an indie writer in your mind?
Well, yeah, it's tough to add to any of that. I thought I had something original to say, and then Bobby just took it. Thanks, friend.
Hey, it's a reward. Me.
I do know Bobby. I got to know Bobby Nash. He's right there along on that list of lots of people you get to meet. No, I think for me, there's also the learning that I do as I write. Not just the learning because I'm researching different ideas, right? Like right now, I'm researching golf for a mystery series, and I don't know much about golf except that I don't like to play it. But there's also the learning more about how to write as I do, and an unexpected bonus for me was getting to be able to talk about writing and to write about writing and just really share the joy of what I do as a writer. And so I have been doing that through the blog and through like nonfiction books about writing as well. And to me, that was something I didn't expect to get to do, just being able to share those things. And it's probably intrinsic to the teacher within me that I also like to do that teaching part. But I didn't really expect to be able to do it, or for it to become a thing. And then I just kept writing and kept meeting people and opportunities would open up. And so that's been a really unexpected bonus, in addition to just creating something new and seeing something out there that came out of my brain that didn't exist before, Yeah,
right on, man. Right on. I can see where you're coming from with that point of view. I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. And once again, this is the best show on earth, also known as the Writer's Showcase, with the best roundtable that's ever been assembled. I mean, it just happens to be that way. If you're joining us live on the replay, thank you for doing so. And don't forget to like and share this with your closest friends. If you have any questions for these wonderful people, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. More than happy to take those as they come in respectively. With that being said, opposite side of the fence, though, Bobby, what are some of the most biggest challenges about being a writer?
Finding time to write.
So much time, man.
Yeah. Well, finding time is impossible. You have to make time. Finding time is, but I think, I can't speak for all writers, but I've talked to enough writers that I think we all suffer from this ability to procrastinate beyond our means. What's the old joke? Someone told me once, it's like, this is how you know a writer. They will tell you, I am a writer and I am going to write, but first, and then you can fill in the blank of whatever they're going to do that's not writing, but first I'm going to clean my office, but first I'm going to do the laundry, but first so, for me, getting started is the hardest part. I sit down at the desk, let me check emails. Let me go do social media. Let me update this and that and blah, 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 blah. You know, the next thing I know, 4 hours have passed, and I'm like, I haven't written anything yet. I should probably get to work. So yes, that's the hard part for me, is that getting started and focused and going. And once I'm in there, I'm okay. But getting started I am my own worst enemy.
My own worst enemy. There you go. That's a
It's-
phrase. That's
That's
a
gonna be
phrase.
my autobiography. I'm my own worst enemy. Yeah.
That's a phrase that never goes out of style. I am my own worst enemy. Or someone may say, I am my own. We are our own worst critics.
Mhm.
Right? You've all heard that one, right? I'm assuming.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, I
There's-
think that's another one. That's writers or creative
Mm-hmm.
people are certainly, you know, because we all go through that. Oh, this is great, and then we read it later, and it's like, oh my god, I suck. And so yeah, I think we all go through that as well. So yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. All been there, ladies and gentlemen. We've all been there. Kelsey, biggest challenges about being a writer that hasn't been said about time.
That hasn't been said about time.
Finding
I'm going to add sticking to the one project, because you always have multiple projects, multiple characters in your head. And it's like, I need to sit down and I need to write and continue this one manuscript, but I have this pretty new shiny idea over here that is really loud, and I want to work on developing this because it's new and it's the dopamine hit. But I really need to be back in this project and just finish writing out this draft, because then I can put it down and let it rest and go do the other thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That is the worst.
Mhm.
It is, isn't it, Kelly? How about you, Kelly? Biggest challenges about being a writer? What do you think?
Definitely the inner critic, where
Mhm.
there's just days where I go back and reread to edit, and I'm like, well, everything sucks. I'm a terrible writer. Why am I letting anyone read anything? And another challenge is keeping track of continuity. Especially when you are writing series. How old was this character? What year did this happen? What was this character's name in this book that I finished 10 years ago? It's a lot. So yeah, those are a couple challenges.
Yep, I can see how that could be a complication during the process of writing, right, folks? And
no one has written a Wikipedia for my series yet. Get on that, y'all. Like, come on.
That should happen. That should have happened a while ago, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but I have not sold enough copies for that to happen.
Well, one of our goals here at Anti-Code Channel is to get as many eyes and ears on everyone's projects as humanly possible. So hopefully when people see this, they'll check out the links in the description below, which you can find down below, by the way, and check out everyone's books. Buy yourself a copy. Treat yourself, as Parks and Recs likes to tell us, right? Treat yourself, all right? Because it's a holiday weekend. People are having sales. People are looking to sell books, which isn't a problem at all. Go ahead and buy yourself something. You may enjoy it. You may find yourself, it's real simple, because the number one rule of life, folks, is to take a look. It's in a book. It's that simple, right? It's really that simple. I don't say, that rule's been around for how many years? I don't know, 50 years, 55, 45. Well done, LeVar Burton. We love you, man. Honestly.
It's about to be beach read season. Stock up.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. It is about to be beach read. Just make sure you don't read your book while you're visiting Amity Island on July 4th weekend. Yeah. Because I was going to say,
no, you stay on the beach, you read your book, you don't go in the water.
Just do not go anywhere near that water, because a shark.
That's shark protection.
Exactly.
Right. Look, we're saving lives here, people.
We are. And if you do go into the water, you find yourself coming across, just make sure you have the shark repellent bat spray. See what I did there? Yeah. Okay. I can't believe I just said that. Wow. Okay. Zip bang pow. R.I.P. Adam West. Oh boy. Whew. Another DC discussion for another day. Sean, the Bookman Taylor, challenges about being a writer?
For me, it's when you hit that dry season. I'm not going to dare call it writer's block, because I don't believe that writer's block is a thing. I think it always gets down to there's just something else that we'd rather do, or we feel like we can't do it for some kind of reason, but it's not really a blockage. It's life is stressful. And something is more pressing, and that's okay. The more I have said I don't believe in writer's block, the more I have been more positive about my writing, even when I'm in that dry season. And I just see it as taking a break, as opposed to like some inability on my part or something. But those dry times can be tough because they, like was said, that the ideas don't stop coming. They keep rattling out, but there's always something in those times that's more pressing, whether it's, you're dealing with some kind of medical issue, or, it's a financial thing. Those kind of things can get really stressful for me as a writer because I want to be writing. I just can't get to it. Those kind of things, or I don't feel it. My personality is not really wanting to feel it. My spirit has been beaten down by whatever's going on in the world, whatever, and I just don't feel it. And so those are tough times for me as a writer. That because when you're a writer, your brain is a writer 24/7. It's just sometimes your neurology doesn't want to agree with what the personality part of your brain is saying.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't get much sleep last night because my brain was going crazy with all these ideas for future short stories I want to write. Yeah, I didn't sleep much. All the creativity was oozing through my brain. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I wasn't even eating Cocoa Puffs for breakfast today. I was eating Eggo waffles covered in log cabin syrup. Hashtag not a sponsor of this show, but if Eggo wants me to be, just give me a call, guys. Lego my Eggo. I'm just saying. All right, buttermilk flavored all day long. All right. It's part of a complete breakfast. I'm just pointing that out. Anybody remember those little ads we used to hear when we were kids? That's part of a complete breakfast. Everybody remember that? Gosh, those were good times. Saturday morning cartoons. Those were the good times, right, folks? Those were the simpler times. Whether it was watching XYZ, watching Spider-Man, watching X-Men, or Power Rangers or whatever. I don't know. I was there for the 90s. I wasn't there for the 80s. Sorry, Bobby. But anyway, outside of that, sorry. Don't mean to date anyone here, but we're a bit younger or older than some, and that's okay because age is just a bloody number. It doesn't matter. Where were we? Oh yes, the Writer's Showcase, the greatest show on earth. Don't forget to like and share this, everybody. If you got any questions, let us know in the comments of the chat. And yeah, and if you're joining us live on the replay, hello there, as one might say. Let's see here. How do I phrase this? Oh yeah, here we go. If someone is watching this or listening and they are aspiring to become a writer, what advice would you give them, Kelsey?
Your journey starts with one word. Just get one word down, and then the rest will start to come.
One word? I haven't heard that one before. This is new. Can we put that on a shirt? Everything starts with one word. Can we put that down? Probably. Merchandising 101.
Yeah, because I think the statistics are like 80% of people would say that they want to write a book, but only 1 or 2% of people actually complete it. And that journey is going to start with one word.
All right. That's, man. What about you, Kelly? Advice you would give to aspiring writers out there that may be watching this?
Read as much as you can and pay attention to what works for you, and basically write the book that you want to read. Don't worry about what's popular and chasing the trends, because if you're trying to chase whatever is popular right now, literary wise, you're going to be behind the trend. Just write the book that is speaking to you right now, because the people who were writing vampire books when Twilight was hot, by the time they finished their books and started querying agents, the literary world had already moved on from vampires. So just write whatever genre you want, write whatever characters you want, and then don't worry about if it's going to sell until you finish the book.
Valid points.
Also, if you're chasing trends too, like if you write a vampire, like if you wrote one of those vampire novels and you're not a vampire fan, with my luck, I would then get hot. A publisher would pick it up. It would become this big hot thing. And I would find myself writing vampires the rest of my life while I hate writing vampires.
Yeah, there's too many vampire stories out there, including ones with people that shine in the sunlight. And I'm like, what the heck is that? I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Well, not to mention that a lot of readers can tell if you're not sincere, if something is a cash grab or an attempt.
Yeah.
But only Bobby could become accidentally hot as a
Yes.
vampire writer. That's just a Bobby Nash thing. He's got that
Absolutely.
natural innate talent, right?
Yes. That's
Like,
me.
I don't like this, but I'm still
I
going to
know.
be super popular just because my name is on it.
Well, it can be said that some of the more popular things I've worked on were things that people had to talk me into doing.
Oh,
Yes, Sean and I created a series a few years ago, a book
Yeah,
series,
what was it?
and that I absolutely just went in going, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm not interested. Let's not do it. Sean talked me into it. It wins tons of awards. And people are like, oh, this is the best thing you've ever done. And I'm like, great. So what do I know? Knows I don't know anything. So,
What was the name of the series? Or what was it?
The Ruby Files.
Oh, the Ruby
Sean,
Files.
Yes, it was a detective, like a 40s detective noir series.
Hmm.
And Sean and I created the characters together and built the world, and other writers were invited to come in and pitch it. And it ended up being a great experience. But it was one of those things you just had to talk me into it. Because I was just like, nah, not doing that. Don't want to do that.
yep.
So, but yeah.
Hmm.
But that's
That's
that
Jedi
community
mind
thing.
tricks. Yeah, and maybe bribe you with 20,000 Republic credits, right? Is that it?
Exactly. But as far as advice,
Yes.
I guess I should actually answer the real question that was asked.
It's a $5 million question, Bobby.
I would give you two of them
down here.
There's the simple one is have fun with what you're doing, which is very much what Kelly just said. Write what you like, have fun with it. But I think once you need to determine what you want out of your writing. Are you writing for fun? Then that you do that one way. Do you want writing to be your career? Then you have to plan a certain way. Deadlines become important. Set attainable goals. Your goal number one cannot be New York Times bestselling author. Goal number one is finish the first draft. Then celebrate when you do that. Goal number two, finish the second draft. Goal number three, that kind of thing. If you set those kind of attainable goals and goals you could reach, and then go to the next goal and keep adding goals, even as you're going now. I mean, I'm always adding new goals for my career. And so that kind of helps me stick to that focus we were talking about earlier. This book has to be done by this date because that's the deadline. So everything else kind of has to go to the side and I can focus on that. Whereas if I was writing as a hobby, you write what you want when you want because it's a hobby. So, and either of those are perfectly legitimate paths to take. I know a lot of writers that have no interest in doing it as a job, that they write stories. They're happy to write them. They put them up for free. They're content. And that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So you just kind of have to determine what you want to get out of your writing and then kind of make your plans that way.
Fair enough. See, it took you a minute to answer a $5 million question, but you finally did. So congrats. You can stick around.
Well, I try to give you your money's worth.
Exactly. Yeah.
We get paid by the word, remember?
We do. We get paid by the way. Exactly. And so you're more than welcome to stick around. Sean, what about what about you?
Well,
Advice you give to an aspiring writer out there?
Mine's going to be a little different because I'm a literary snot and an English teacher, right? So I'm going to say this. Have something to say and then say what you want to say and know that it's valid. I think everything I write, it always comes from a place within inside me that there's something about who I am that wants to get something out. It's not propaganda writing, but it is something that I think people would call theme, that if you read my work, you'll see that there's a certain inclination, a certain way I'm trying to encourage people to be, certain ideas that I think are important. And I think that's important because, like I said, it's more than just the characters or the plot, right? When those get together, they create a story, and a story helps shape directions for things. I think of like The Handmaid's Tale. That was making some kind of statement, right? I think of Vonnegut again. Have something to say and then say what you want to say and realize it's valid. Those are important. And I think those are starting places. And sometimes you don't know what you want to say, right? You just need to start writing, and you figure it out over the past 3 stories that you've done. You go, oh, this is what I'm saying. And that's okay too. But realize that there is something that you're going to be trying to say, even if it's sneaking out through your subconscious, and just validate it. Let yourself know that that's okay.
Right on, man. Right on. Totally dig it. Well said, well put. Good pieces of advice by all our guests during the course of this episode of Writers Showcase. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions, let us know. Join us live for what is known as a replay. Memorex. Anybody remember Memorex? Yeah, that's going back a few years. Good Lord, I'm dating myself. Hello there. Welcome welcome to the show. Goodness gracious. Well, here's something that's going to cause a bit of a stir, but we'll throw this into the lion's den anyway. Kelly, what is a book to movie adaptation that you really enjoy?
Oh, book to movie adaptation that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord of the Rings.
Mm.
Not the Hobbit movies, to be clear.
To be clear, folks.
That does not include the Hobbit trilogy, but the original Lord of the Rings trilogy done by Peter Jackson. Just fantastic. And no, I know that they changed some things that bothered some Tolkien purists. I'm okay with the changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to have first and second breakfast. What about 11th, 12th?
And
it's okay to have that stuff.
Amping up Arwen's role, I'm a huge fan. Fight me, Tolkien purists.
I mean, that scene in what was it? I think if you remember this correctly, Kelly, Fellowship of the Ring, when those ring race are about to wreak havoc, and she says, "If you want him, come and
take him."
Whoa! Do not mess with the daughter of rock and roll royalty. Okay.
A lot of the Tolkien purists are upset because there was originally a different elf that was.
Oh,
the whole thing. We
Really?
will not get in. We do not have time. That's
okay,
a whole
fine.
other part.
I didn't know that there was a bit of a creative liberty that they took with that part of the character, but it doesn't bother me because Liv Tyler's drop dead gorgeous and she knows how to act well. So Liv Tyler, give her all the money, please.
Yes, I love Liv Tyler.
Is it follow up question to that though? What's your favorite of the trilogy? Your favorite one of the 3?
Gosh. I mean, that's like choosing a favorite child, which
I know it's hard. I know it is.
I'm gonna have to say the first one because the first one just had that magic. It just came and knocked it out of the park. None of us knew what to expect, and nothing can replicate the feeling I had when I went to the theater, not knowing what to expect, and just boom.
It was a heck of a weekend, wasn't it?
Yes.
Seeing that opening weekend, 2001, if I remember correctly. Gosh, we're getting too young for this business. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Fellowship was my favorite too. So you and I we're some putty kill on that part. I just want to throw it out there. I mean, plus when you got 3 friends telling you, you have my sword, and you have my bow, and my axe. I mean, come on, man. That's awesome.
Plus the aforementioned Arwen scene, just chef's kiss.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll do a J.R.R. Tolkien appreciation show on Anti-Quote Channel, and then Kelly, myself, and a few other Tolkienites, Tolkien fans, whatever you want to call ourselves, we can sit down and talk about that stuff. How's that sound to you?
I would absolutely wear my Arwen costume for that.
You have an Arwen outfit?
You've seen it.
Have I?
Yes, you have.
I'm sorry. It's been a minute. I'm sorry. My memory's a bit fuzzy.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Can you give me some pictures because I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I'll send you pictures.
Arwen's great. We love her. Anyway, where was I? I don't even remember the question.
I got you just... Okay. Book to movie adaptation. I'm sorry, guys. I got us off the tracks.
Because Kelly took me to Rivendell, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? But Kelsey, book to movie adaptation that you enjoy.
So, the very first thing that popped into my mind whenever you asked the question was the Harry Potter series. Book to movie, but I know it's not like 1-to-1 or anything. But then I was like, wait, I can do better than that. And so now I'm stuck between the Pride and Prejudice adaptation. Or the Princess Bride adaptation.
Princess Bride.
And that's what I was thinking because it has a little bit more of a cult following.
That's true.
So,
not going to lie. It does.
Yeah. And I know it's not 1-to-1 to the book necessarily, but it's like it's one of those feel goods that you just keep coming back to, and again and again and again. And then a lot of my friends, at least in the communities that I know, were like, wait, there's a book? Because they saw the movie first. It's like, yeah, you should go read that one.
Yeah. I need to sit down and read this book at some point or another, because I've only seen the movie. That's my biggest problem. Doing everything in reverse, folks. It happens sometimes. Please, what's the matter? Do we have to hear the kissing part? Someday you may not mind so much. Outside of that, whatever. Bobby, book to movie adaptation that you've enjoyed over the years. And
you're laughing because I know you're expecting me to say Jaws, but I don't like the Jaws novel.
Oh, you don't you?
It is. I do not think it's a very good novel. I love the movie. I don't. I don't love the novel. I tell you, one of the ones that's probably the better. I mean, I still find the novel better than the movie in this case, even though both the screenplay and the novel were written by the same guy, and that's Jurassic Park, which is a very well written novel, and I enjoy the movie as well. And then, so that one's up there. I would also probably, for my second one, I would say The Dead Zone, based on the Stephen King novel. I love the movie. The Stephen King short stories tend to adapt well into movies.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the Christopher Walken one. I'm only familiar with the Anthony Michael Hall TV series. It was on USA Network, also known as The Dead Zone. So
yeah, the TV show shies away from, because the novel and the original movie are very much a horror movie. And the show becomes this procedural thing,
right?
So we only dip back into the original story, like the stuff with Stilson and all that. We do dip back into it, but but both are good. I enjoy both versions, but yeah, they're woefully different things. But yeah, those are good.
All right. I never thought I'd hear the words, or be alive to see the day where Bobby says, "Oh, I don't like Jaws the book. Forget the book. The book doesn't. The book doesn't count."
I'm not saying it doesn't count. The movie's great. It's not. I don't enjoy it as much, and it's different than the movie. I mean, the movie there's a shark attacks an island. That's about the same. The rest is a little different. Yeah.
Fair enough. I just assumed that Bobby loved everything Jaws, but
when you asked the question, I was like, I know what he's expecting me to say.
Like, I'm not a fan of the Jaws novel, but I love the movie. Does that count for something? Yeah, it does, because the movie's great and Spielberg made it, and he was during the early parts of his career. Respect. Sean, what about you? Book to movie adaptation that you absolutely enjoy?
Well, to respond to Bobby first, actually, I'll go you one further. I think the book sucks. I think Benchley can't write. Period.
Yeah, I was trying to be diplomatic.
I would rather be force read John Grisham than have to read that book ever again. It was horrible. Anyway, so if you think, Ryan, that a movie from 2001 makes us old, I'm really going to blow your mind here, because mine goes back to 1967, and it is Kubrick's version of Lolita, because he did everything in that movie that the book was trying to convey, even with the changes he made. You come out of that movie feeling just as grimy and just as gross and just as inappropriate as the book was trying to make you. And I think he did such a fantastic job in that movie, capturing the essence of just how you're supposed to feel after that one. And if I had to pick something newer, it's still pretty old, and it would be the version of The Crucible that was actually the script for it was written by Arthur Miller, and he made changes to it because it actually worked better for a modern audience. And I thought that was really good too. But by far my favorite is Lolita. I mean, the movie is uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be, and I think it works because of that.
I think I've heard the name Lolita over the years. I just haven't. I don't know if I want to sit down and watch it, because, like you just said, it's uncomfortable, it's creepy, it's strange, wild, insane. I don't know if I want to sit down for that. But number two, are you referring to The Crucible with Winona Ryder and Daniel Day-Lewis?
Oh yeah, okay. the Winona Ryder one. Yeah,
great movie. We read the book.
And most people don't realize Miller wrote the screenplay for that and made all of the changes from the original book himself.
Yeah, and it's absolutely brilliant. We watched the movie when we were in class because we were also reading the book at that time in high school, and we also performed the play in the fall. And I had the honor, nay, the privilege of playing Deputy Governor Danforth in the play. I was Danforth, fellas. Yeah, it's real. And unfortunately, this is before people had smartphones and were able to tape little itty bitty little things called videotapes. So there's no video evidence of this, but I have my script with all my lines highlighted and underlined, by the way. I have some of the rehearsal notes that we got from the different rehearsals we had over the weeks and months leading up to the performance of the show. Yeah, it was crazy. It was wild. We had 300 people in the theater. It was a great show. I had fun doing it, but I had to learn a lot of lines. It was a lot of lines.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, but it was a great play, great story. Arthur Miller is fantastic. And The Crucible, if you haven't seen the movie with Winona Ryder and Daniel Day freaking Lewis, you got to treat yourself. All right. It is a, dramatic, serious thing, but it's really good. Okay. So if you haven't seen it, find it on streaming because I know it's streaming somewhere. I have it on Divida. Okay. Still a proponent of physical media, but find it. It's real good. Has anyone else here on the roundtable seen it?
Mm-hmm.
You've all seen it. All right. So I don't have to I wouldn't say chastise you, but say, how dare you not see this movie? No, I'm just kidding. That's great because Winona Ryder, she's incredible. Incredible. Even with the long hair, whether it was a wig or not, she rocked it. Okay. Just saying. Abigail Williams, is this your mischief? Sorry, I could quote that movie all day long. Aside from that, one of my favorite book to movie adaptations that I've seen in my career, two of them actually. I'm going to give you the first one because this is the one that comes to the mind the most. The Hunger Games. Because my brother was a teacher at one point, and I said, Ryan, our students and I are reading this series of books, and it's called The Hunger Games. You need to read this. I said, why? It's really, really good. Trust me, you'll like it. So I read the first Hunger Games, really liked it, went out and saw the movie when it hit theaters. So I read the book first before I saw the movie. This is a very rare thing for Ryan to do because I'm so used to watching the films and then going back years and years later and reading the book. I know I do everything in reverse order. Sad face emoji. But I read the book first, watched the movie. It's real good. Did they take creative liberties? When does Hollywood not do that? Yeah. They do it every day of the week, twice on Sunday, but it doesn't bother me because the first Hunger Games, it works, even though it's a different filmmaker between Gary Ross and Francis Lawrence, because Francis Lawrence came in for Catching Fire. Anybody remember that? Yeah. But good film, solid book. Check it out if you haven't read it. I mean, it's been around for, it's quite popular, but if you ever read the original, good stuff. And then the second one, we actually watched this movie in my film class, and then I went back and read the comics. Maybe not the original stories written by this writer, but I do intend to read them. Robert E. Howard, he created this character called Solomon Kane. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Solomon Kane, but Robert E. Howard is a heck of a storyteller because Solomon Kane is a great gosh darn movie with James Purefoy. If you've never seen this, watch it, look it up. It's streaming for free on YouTube with ads, hashtag not a sponsor, even though we stream on your channel. We stream on your service all the time, YouTube. What's up? Check it out. It's great. Solomon Kane is very, very good to me. The comic books that I read, I have a graphic novel omnibus of a lot of the stories. Very, very good to me. And I like stories of redemption. I like redemption stories. And Solomon Kane's a good redemption story. Anyone ever see that movie?
Right. And those started out as in prose before they were comics. They did as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Yeah. Howard was a really good world builder.
Mm-hmm.
With Conan and Solomon, all the things that he wrote. He was a great world builder.
For sure. So yeah, if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. Once again, this is the Writer's Showcase on Anti-Code Channel. Do not forget to like and share. Sharing is caring. If you're watching us live on the replay, hello there. If you have any questions for these esteemed, wonderful group of writers, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. More than happy to take those as they come in, respectively. With that piece of business out of the way, here's a question for you. So, Kelsey, how do you interact with your followers on social media, or your fans, as it were? How does it go?
Do you mean like responding to every comment, or?
Yeah, well, what I mean is, how do you interact with your fans? Do you interact with them mostly on social media? Do you like to do you do it mostly in person? How does it work for you?
I think I'm probably one of the youngest authors here, and by that I mean I only have one book out currently, so I'm still setting up in-person events with local bookstores and everything. So the majority of the interaction that I have is on my social media, and most of that is comments, direct messages. I also do have a Discord set up that I have some people, it's a very small community, but we talk about the book and where people are in the process and when I'm ready next.
Awesome sauce. All right. Hey, and congrats on publishing your first book. Congrats.
Thank
We're all happy
you.
for you here, right? Yeah. Clapping emojis inserted here. Congrats. No, it's understandably so. And we wish you the best with all those upcoming events and book signings, local bookstores, all that kind of stuff. If there's anything we can do to help, let us know. We're all here to help each other, right, folks? Build each other up, not tear each other down. Hashtag those are the facts of the case, and they are undisputed. That's a reference from the 90s. Sorry. With that being said, Kelly, what has your interaction been like with your followers or your fans, whether in person or on social media?
So my social media presence is a little it's basically wrapped up more with my cosplay and podcasting presence. So it's all one on Phoenix Sis Entertainment. So I get more people wanting to talk about cosplay right now and my podcasting stuff than my books, which is fine. And but I'm always trying to respond when people want to talk about any of that stuff, whether it's books, cosplay, or podcasting. I also do have a Facebook group dedicated for writers. And so occasionally we'll talk about books, my books in there, but it's not really about my books so much as the writing process. And by the way, any of you on this panel or any of you at home who are aspiring authors are welcome to join. That Facebook group is called Birds of Pen. So pen like pen. And we have a really nice just conversation there about the publishing process. We have authors who are, still working on their first book, and we have authors who are indie published, traditional published, just basically in all walks of the writing process. But yeah, basically my social media presence is a little messy because I have all that stuff. I have so many irons in the fire. And then I do have a few local appearances and get to talk to people there, and that's pretty awesome. So that's how I do it.
Well, that's cool. Understandably so. Do you have any intention or plans to make it out to Superman Celebration this year?
Not this year. It's such a long drive. Are you going to go this year?
I wish I could say yes, but Fan Expo Philadelphia kind of hurt my finances. If anyone goes to a convention, you know where I'm going with this. And also, I'm in the process of saving up to go to a place called Shore Leave, which is being held in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, an hour and change away from me, because my BFF, also known as Jeff, my brother in arms, when it comes to Comic-Cons in arms, you know what I'm saying? We're planning on going there to meet up with Dina Meyer and Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that movie. It's only been around for almost 30 years. So we're going to meet up with them, hang out, get some autos, get some selfies, smile. This is going on Facebook, smile, and have some fun there. So yeah, unfortunately, Superman Celebration's not in the cards. But believe me when I tell you, folks, I know I've been saying this for a while now, and I know I may sound like a broken record, but this is going to happen. I have every intention of making it out to Superman Celebration. He's my #1 favorite character of all time. Been a fan since I've been a fan since, I really became a fan during the Smallville years, Kelly. But let's be honest. I've been a fan since Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher came on television. All right. The 90s were awesome. Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher made it that way. I have all 4 seasons on Divida to prove it. Okay, fellas. So it's going to happen. Superman Celebration is going to happen. Kelly, myself, all our super friends. That's right. Super friends at the Hall of Justice. We're all going to meet up, right? We're going to cosplay together. We're going to do a cosplay photo shoot. We're all going to have a great time. Yes. Grab some grub, have a drink, whatever it is. And we're going to talk the good times of Superman. Why not?
Have you guys been to Metropolis before?
She has. Yeah. I haven't.
Okay, it's great. I mean, even if you don't go during Superman Celebration, it is worth it to go for the museums.
Oh, the museum, yeah.
The museums and downtown and the statues, and because there's also a Lois Lane statue. There's a
Lois Lane statue.
There is a Lois Lane, Noel Neal Lois Lane statue in downtown, and the big billboard with Superman, the Neil Adams Superman flying. It's if you're a Superman fan, it's worth it, even if you go just on a Tuesday.
Wow.
And to go just. You could spend all day in the museum, and as a Superman fan, you will absolutely just be blown away.
I said, I have every intention of going. So Kelly, we're gonna make this thing happen.
We will.
All right, we're gonna have a great time too, for sure. Gee whiz, Superman's so good. He's the best. And his new movie's coming out in a couple of weeks, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm so excited.
Are you excited?
A little bit, yeah. For that, I am doing a fundraising Superman Day at
Really?
a comic shop near me. We're going to be fundraising for the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation. So that's going to be a big cosplay event where I'm going to get a bunch of DC cosplayers, and that anyone in the southern Wisconsin or northern Illinois area, that's going to be at Jay's Comics in Grays Lake, Illinois. Come out and see us. It's going to be the weekend that the Superman movie comes out that Saturday.
July 11th, if I remember correctly. I think it's July 11th, the week after Independence Day.
Yeah. So we'll be there that Saturday. So that's July 13th.
Oh, July 13th. I'm sorry.
You've got the weekend right. Yeah. July 11th is.
I think it's when the movie comes out. Yeah. That's going to be a heck of a weekend for you, Kelly. Goodness gracious. I wish I could be there and get in on this.
That would be awesome. Because we're going to be raising money for a good cause. We're going to be hanging out at a comic shop and costume. It's going to be lots of fun. So that's my little plug.
If I can't be there physically, I may, if I can, you and I, we can talk off camera about this later, but if I can make a donation in any way, in shape or form, or help you guys, let me know. We can work something out. I
would love that.
Yeah.
We absolutely can work that out.
Wonderful. Great. See, this is, once you mention the S word, which stands for Superman, we could go off on tangents all day long, for show, guys, for show. And his new movie's coming out in a couple of weeks. So who'd have thunk, right? Yeah. I wish the cast and crew the best. David looks good in the suit. I think Rachel is going to be a great Lois Lane. She looks really good in the promos and the trailers we've seen. You got Hawkgirl being thrown into the mix, Green Lantern's being thrown into the mix, Metamorpho's in the mix, Lex Luthor being played by Beast from X-Men, Nicholas freaking Hoult, who had to shave his own head for this. I mean, that's commitment, fellas.
First live action Crypto.
I was so excited about Crypto.
Hashtag Ryan's not excited about Crypto. I'm not really excited for Crypto. I think things that are in the comic book should stay in the comics, Bobby. But as long as Crypto is not in every single scene stealing the spotlight from Superman, I'll be cool. All right? I'll be cool. Just don't put him in every scene. I hope he's not. James Gunn, if you're watching this, don't put Crypto in every single scene of a Superman movie. Just don't. All right.
I think you're going to be okay. I don't think he'll be in every single scene.
I hope so. Just focus on Kal-El, all right? Focus on Kal-El. That's the biggest thing I want you to do. But anyway, sorry. Tangent over. What was the question? I don't even know where I was. Yes. Thank you so much. This is why I count on the writers here, because I don't know what the frack I'm doing. Bobby, how do you interact with your followers or your fans, whether it be through social media or at events? How does it go for you?
I do a lot. I mean, I'm on social media. I'm on most of them. It's impossible to do all of them. There are so many, but I do a lot of them. I make sure that I answer questions or talk to people. If people comment, I make sure, that I'm available, to talk to people. But I also do a lot of events. I do a lot of different, bookstores and comic shops and conventions and libraries. Things like that, where I'm out in front of people, talking to people, not just selling books, but also doing panels about the writing process or how to get published or things like that. People are coming up with questions and helping out that way. Doing things like this, where we're doing online panels, talking to people that aren't in the area. I live in Georgia, so I'm in this area of the country. So doing stuff online allows me to talk to people, elsewhere. So just, whatever. You just try to do whatever you can to get the word out, not only about your books, because, as much as we think it's all about the books, I mean, part of it is we're selling our persona as well. We're making ourselves available. We're part of the kind of the package, the branding. So I just try to get out and do as much as I can. As Ryan mentioned, it gets very expensive, doing conventions and travel. And so, you just kind of have to find what works best for you. Some events work better than others. There are some fantastic events that I love the events, but for what I do, don't help, with getting the word out. So you have to kind of figure out what works best for you. Sometimes teaming up and buddying up with other people. I know for a while there, Sean and I used to travel to cons together so we could half our expenses. Things like that, where we can get out and you're able to do more in-person events. And I tend to get more traction with readers doing in-person events.
Oh, stellar stuff. If I do say so myself. You got the Let Me Tell You a Story tour going
Yeah,
on.
that's what I'm. Yeah, I decided to give my tour a name. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that name. Let me tell you a story, folks. Let me tell you this. You know?
Well, I put that on my business cards, and then I ran out of business
did you?
cards really quick. So now I've got to get more made. But yeah.
Oh, you have to get more business cards?
Yeah.
Oh man, send a few my way so I can pass it to my friends up here in the northeastern United States. Can I do that for you, Bobby?
We'll
Would that sound good to
absolutely
you?
will do. Yeah.
Really, that goes for all of you. If you only have business cards you want to send my way so I can pass out to my friends in the northeastern part of the country here in America, let me let me know. I'm more than happy to support you all. Sean, how has your interaction been with your followers or your fans on social media or during in-person events, should I say?
I prefer in-person events just because I'm a huge extrovert. As anybody who, I know who'd have thunk it, right?
I never thought you'd be an extrovert. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. Yes, I'm such an introvert. It's good. No,
The shy Sean Taylor.
The shy Sean Taylor. Yes, I just love to talk to people, and I like to talk about writing as much as I like to talk about my writing. Just in general, I am a huge nerd about writing, just the act of it. And so I find that there are a lot of kindred spirits from both sides of the publishing idea line there. But yeah, and like Bobby said, I like to do as many panels as I can. That kind of thing. I like to get to know people, fans, readers, whatever you want to call them, in the wild, in a real setting. To me, where we're actually dealing with writing. And to me, that a lot of my readers, I think, are writers or writers who are wanting to get started, that kind of thing. That's why for my social media presence, even I tend to market myself more to writers. Like the blog is all about a writing blog. It's interviews with writers. It's networking with writers. But it's also geared to helping new people become writers. So that is a very specific kind of social media outlet there. I do have outlets that are just kind of fan and reader based outlets through the various other social media outlets, the various things like Bobby's talking about there. I don't think I get a lot of traction necessarily through those or new readers, because people are just bombarded every minute, every second of every day with stuff from social media. So nothing sticks, and it's hard to, get something to go viral or to reach that other thing. And if you're particularly an indie author, your opportunities to go viral about things like that or to get outside your small niche are pretty limited. So that's why I like actually being able to see eyeball to eyeball with people.
And here I thought he was just a shy Sean Taylor. No, I'm just kidding.
That's exactly me. I am the shy.
I never thought that for a second. Okay, Sean, I just want to point that out. You're awesome. I hope to see all of you in person at some point or another. So,
and I would like to go on record as saying, based on your views on crypto, it surely is such a sad fact that we haven't had 8 other movies to deal with Kal-El before we ever finally got some freaking crypto in the first place. So, hush.
I mean, if you say so. I mean, look, it's one thing for me to watch him in the Superboy cartoon from Superpowers when I was watching reruns of that, by the way, because I'm not that old, guys. But I remember watching reruns of Superboy, and it was fine. It was fine. It worked for Superboy. Does anybody remember Superboy? Like, it works. But in the real world, I'm just like, I can't deal with CGI dogs, man. I can't do it. I don't know. Unless it was Fluffy in Sorcerer's Stone, because, Fluffy was a 3-headed dog that if you just sing to him or play music to him, he just falls asleep and he's chill. Anybody remember Sorcerer's Stone? I was there for that. But anyway, don't worry.
Farm remembers.
You do remember. Okay, because I was going to say, I was in the house when I took the quiz online, Kelly. I ended up being in the house in Gryffindor. So.
No, I said Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yes. Pepperidge Farm remember. Hashtag not a product placement on the show, but if they want to be, give us a call. These are crap. Once again, this is the Writer Showcase with the not so Sean Taylor and Kelsey and Kelly and Bobby. I love Jaws for Life, the movie Nash, not the book. If you have any questions for these wonderful folks, let us know in the comments of the chat. If you're watching us live on the replay, hello there. And don't forget to like and share with your closest buddies. Bobby, favorite characters you've written thus far?
Oh, geez.
I know, it's like picking a favorite
It's
child, like we
what's
were
your
talking about with
favorite
Kelly earlier. I know it's
child?
hard.
Snow is one that sticks out for me. Abraham Snow. Partly because of how that character came together. That was one of those where I basically pulled it out of thin air. A publisher called me and says, "Hey, we're doing this new thing with these novellas, and we'd like you to pitch us something." I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "No, now." And I'm like, "Oh." And so I pulled like 3 ideas that were like in the back of my head and like slammed them in a blender, and out spurted this thing that has become one of my best-selling series. So yeah, so Snow has a place, but I'd also say too the characters of Harold Palmer, who is in Evil Ways, because Evil Ways is kind of where my career started as a writer of characters that I created. But that was my first published novel, and so yeah, we were off to the races after that came out. So those 2 are probably the ones that have struck the biggest chord, I think.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I like the poster in your background. Heck, I got most of the snow books
Oh
here.
yeah, that's right. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you got them all, man. Free advertising. It's great. It's
All right.
lovely.
The one clean corner of my office.
Spring cleaning, folks. It happens to us all. What was I going to say? Kelly, favorite characters you've written so far?
All right, so I only have the one series out, so I'm going to, aside from my 2 main characters, who of course are my de facto favorites, I really love to write for my villain in the first book, Mr. Shadow, because he is just creepy and awful, and it's fun to write evil. I also love to write for this character whose name is Kate. Her code name is Sharpshooter. She's the ex-girlfriend of my male main character. And at first, when she's introduced, she's kind of the B word, but she has a lot of layers to her. And I loved kind of peeling back those layers. But otherwise, yeah, pretty much it's like choosing a favorite child because I love them all. There's also a character called Luke, codename Gamble, who plays a huge role in the second book, and I just adore him. He's the best friend to my male main character, and he's super fun to write, and he brings out different sides to the main characters and is a really nice foil to each of them, and really worked well, but also he's a really interesting character in his own right. So yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Very nice. What about you, Sean? Favorite characters you've written so far, I should say?
That's a little bit harder question for me because I don't do series. I tend to not go back and revisit characters unless they're in short stories or novellas. So one is obviously Rick Ruby, that from the Ruby Files that Bobby mentioned earlier. I love Rick, and I think I love him more so because of his world that he's in than just Rick himself. The way we created him, we wanted Rick to be this, basic white guy, pulpy, hard-boiled detective, but he lives in a black world, and we wanted that to be an influence on him. And so because of that, it causes me to write him differently, and to get to say things that I might not be able to say just writing a typical Sam Spade type character, right? And another one comes from my days of writing for iHero Entertainment and Cyber Age Adventures, which was a superhero short stories. And we actually won the very first Writer's Digest Zine Publishing Award, beating out all these artsy-fartsy lit mags with superhero stories, which we thought was pretty awesome. But I had a character named Starlight, who was a mom who had lost her humanity, and she was a being of light. And basically, she could see and do anything that light could do. But there were certain things she couldn't do, like save her child who was dying of leukemia, or deal with the fact that she couldn't become a mother again. And because I got to live with those kind of real human issues instead of just somebody fights somebody because you demanded it. I got to actually write real people. They were just people with powers. They made that character so much more dear to me to write because there was something compelling about them, not just a costume.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I dig it, man. I dig it. Awesome. Really good stuff. Kelsey, what about you? Favorite character or characters you've written thus far?
I always say it's the character that I'm writing right now. So, in my current work in progress, I'm writing a golden retriever, Captain America rugby player who uses cheesy pickup lines. And right now, that's my favorite to write. But I think in my latest work, and also an upcoming work for Interconnected Standalones, I have a character based off of Petruchio from Taming of the Shrew, but his nickname is Speed, and because nobody knows his legal government name in my first novel, so Speed says the thing aloud that everybody says that you shouldn't necessarily say aloud. So he's always fun to write because he just blurts out what everybody else is thinking. He says the thing.
He says the thing.
He says the thing.
The thing. There's a thing, and there's this thing hanging out there. Outside of, but I get it though. I get it. Wow. Okay. Captain America meets this, meets that, meet the other. Okay. You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. So, all right. Keep us updated, will you?
I will.
Curious to see where that goes. For sure. What is, if you, great answers by all of you, by the way. So if you had the opportunity to have dinner and money was no object with any writer in the world, Kelly, what writer would you like to have dinner with and pick their brain with?
Oh boy. This is a hard one because my answer, oh God, who I would have answered is no longer someone I want to have dinner with. So this, and I think you all probably know who I'm thinking of, and now I'm sad. Give me a few more minutes to think about this because now I have to be sad for a minute.
No, it's fine. We'll insert Jeopardy theme here. Hashtag that is copyrighted. We can't use it, so we'll move on to something else. Sean, is there a writer you hope to meet and have dinner with one night and pick their brain about writing stuff and things like that? Who would you go with?
Let's see. Living writer. Wow. Probably Walter Mosley. Now, if I could get a necromancer and bring back somebody from the dead, I'd want to sit down and talk to Hemingway. I'm just a Hemingway nut. But yeah, living writer, I think Walter Mosley, because I love what he's doing with his characters. And he's kind of somebody that I try to emulate in terms of writing with a social conscience and trying to tell just a compelling story at the same time. I'd love to just sit down and talk with him about that fine line between propaganda and, and theme, and find out, how do you make sure you don't cross that line? So you're just writing a message story and you're writing a good story that just happens to have a message in it, So yeah, I think Walter Mosley.
All right. Good stuff, man. I'm digging it. Well, we all know that the author that Bobby doesn't want to meet anytime soon is the writer of Jaws, the novel, not the movie. But Bobby, if you could have dinner, have an extensive conversation with a particular writer that you haven't met yet, who would you want to sit down and have a dinner with?
Living writer, I would love to meet and just bend Michael Connolly's ear, not only about writing his successful series, which
Lincoln
I love.
Lawyer, I'm assuming.
Lincoln Lawyer, Bosch, fantastic. And I'm curious about the adaptations from books into the TV shows, and I think that would just be a fantastic conversation to have. He seems like a pretty cool guy for that. If we're talking authors that are no longer with us, I right before he passed, I did get to have a brief chat with Stephen J. Cannell, who wrote a lot of TV shows, but he also wrote novels. I would have loved to have met him in person and had a nice long chat, because he's written some of my favorite TV of all times growing up. And Because if you were a child of the 70s and 80s, you know who he was. And so yeah, I think that would have been fun to just. I probably would have fanboyed out and had too many fanish questions, but yeah, it would have been great to have like a longer conversation with him.
All right. Fanboy out. I haven't heard that term in a minute. It's interesting to hear. No, I'm just kidding. It's cool to hear it, man. We use it all the time. Just out of curiosity, though, Kelly, you've had a minute or two to think about this.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm good.
Or are you okay to answer?
I have an answer now.
Okay. And you get, by the way, we can bend the rules a little bit here and say living or dead. You can name one who's living, one who's dead. It doesn't matter.
No, I have a living. So Shauna McGuire, and I was fortunate enough to get to interview her a couple of years ago for the Multiverse Fundraiser, which is the charity virtual con that Ryan, you and I have both worked on, but that I run. She's fantastic. She's so talented. We've talked about genre bending. She genre bends. She is prolific. She's also a great human being. Like, I would love to have dinner with her. Shannon, if you're watching this, let's have dinner.
Impressive. Most impressive. There you go. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Multiverse Fundraiser has had some good times over the years, and we hope to do it again. So.
Oh, we are doing it again in March.
Yeah. In March Madness? Oh, Lord. Well, I hope. Yeah. I mean, depending on what happens with my schedule, because there's a
end of February.
Okay, I was gonna say, all right, because I was gonna say I do have an event that I'm gonna be attending in March Madness. So, and no, it has nothing to do with basketball. It's convention.
Last weekend in February.
I'm cool. I can make it. I was gonna say if it's in March, depending on what weekend it is, I may be out of town. But since it's at the end of February, we can work with this. It's cool.
End of February. We pushed it back because we realized that finishing up the celebrity contacts during the holidays was a bad idea.
So yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Understandably so, by the way. Look forward to the next year or next version of Multiverse Fundraiser. We're excited. Outside of that, Kelsey, did you answer this question? What author would you want to have a dinner with?
I did not.
Living or dead. You can bend the rules if you want. Someone who's living, someone who's dead. Doesn't matter.
I'm actually going to add a different category then. So someone living, someone dead, and someone non-traditional. Huh. So my dad would be William Shakespeare, like hands down, bar none.
Shakespeare the Bard?
Yes, okay. The Bard. I want to sit down with the Bard. I want to pick his brain because just of how like long-standing everything is. My novel's actually a gamer retelling of one of his first plays to Two Gentlemen of Verona. And so I'm just big Shakespeare fan. Living person, I'm kind of in the same boat as Kelly is like like the names that are coming to mind first are names like, do I really want to sit down with that person now? Yeah. So I think my answer would be George Martin, mostly to ask him when he's going to finish his novels.
Isn't he like 800 years old or something? I mean, it's taken him forever.
I just kind of assume that he made some sort of eldritch deal to live forever at this point, but mostly I think that he writes, his world building is phenomenal. I think that he writes women very well as well, and the way that he interweaves multiple plots, and I'm sure that there's a lot going up there that I want to pick his brain about. So, and then my third non-conventional one isn't necessarily an author in the traditional sense, but I really want to sit down with Robin Williams.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would pick his brain too. Yeah.
I would love to pick his brain.
I mean, we have him at the top of the show. He's given that great speech to his students. And I believe when he says this, words and ideas can change the world. All right. Yeah. Oh, that's where it starts. I would pick his brain on so many different films, so many different things about life. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then being roommates with Superman at Juilliard, like hanging out with Chris Reeve every day, and then they still remain friends like all those years later. I mean, come on. Oh man.
He also roommate with Batman at one point. He was with Kevin Conroy.
Was he rooming with Keaton?
Kevin Conroy.
Oh, okay. He was rooming with Conroy at one point?
Yep.
Jeez. Man, Juilliard, you people at Juilliard, you have all the fun. Why do you take all the fun out of this? Honestly, Kelly, we should have gone to Juilliard. We all should have gone to Juilliard. For
We
Pete's
should have.
sake. Man.
If
no,
only we had the money and the talent and the connections.
I was going to say that tuition was a little bit too much for me.
Was the tuition a little bit too much? Was it though? All right, yeah, probably was. I'm sorry, I'm mincing words, but you know what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, Conroy and Reeve and Robin Williams in the same room. What a dinner that would be.
Yeah.
My gosh, we wouldn't even leave the room. We wouldn't even leave the restaurant. They would have to kick us out of the establishment at 2, 3 in the morning, Bobby. It would happen. Guaranteed. Yeah, we talked their ears off for hours. Great picks by all of you. By the way, George R.R. Martin, the only thing I've seen of his is A Red Wedding, and I hear a lot of people died at that one. So other than that, I haven't seen 8 or 9 seasons of GOT, nor have I seen House of the Dragon. So I just know that a lot of people like to die at the end of his shows. So
Not
I don't know if
necessarily
they
at
like
the end.
to.
well, maybe not at the end,
Yeah,
but like
they
during
just
certain
they
periods
just die
of it.
throughout.
Yeah, they just die throughout the whole gosh darn thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I really want to watch this? I don't know. Who knows?
Talk about killing your darlings. Yeah.
But he does it so well.
Yeah.
From what
It's
I've been
done
told,
so
Bobby, yes.
that it's, because it's as hard as it is to lose characters. At least they're losing them in a way that's we're still riveted.
Mm-hmm. Someone brought up that, and I didn't know this about this actor that we talked about the other day. I didn't know Pedro Pascal was in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was the Viper. I think he was, or whatever. But yeah, and then people told me
He's
how
been
his
in
death was
everything.
great, and I'm like, wait a minute,
I
he
was gonna
died.
say,
in
what
that?
hasn't he been in?
I mean, honestly, Pedro, is there anything you haven't done in your career in the last 10, 15 years? Because good Lord, man. You've been in Equalizers with Denzel. You've been in Last of Us, Game of Thrones,
Buffy.
Mandalorian, which is my favorite show of the world right now. Mandalorian, # this is the way, Kelly. I mean, he's done it all. And he's going to be, what's his name? Reed Richards.
Yeah, he's
in a
going to be
couple of
Dr.
weeks, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of weeks, we're going to be sitting front row center seeing his take on, what's his name? Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
How about
Fantastic,
that?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be interesting. Goodness gracious. That's going to be, I wish I could have dinner with Robin. I would do it forever. Because you know why, Kelsey? Fun fact for you. Favorite Disney movie is Aladdin. And the reason I love it so much is because of Robin Williams. And Robin Williams inspired me to become an actor when I was in high school theater when I was a kid. So I would pick his brain for hours.
You would just have to be very make sure you had the right question, because you would probably only get one.
Yeah.
And he would go
elaborate.
He could
go. And he would just go. So you would probably only get one real question in before he
Yeah. If we all lived in the same neighborhood, I would call Kelly the night before and be like, all right, Kelly, I got this big thing coming up. Help me out here.
Yes.
And then we would do a rehearsal. Kelly and I would do a rehearsal. Be like, okay, how does this work? And then we would talk it through, right? It would be one of those things. God. Oh boy, Robin Williams, we love you, man. We love these people so much. Kevin Conroy, we miss you so much, man. Every time I read a comic book with Batman in the title, your voice is ringing in my head. All right, because # he's the real Batman. # those are the facts. Sorry, so many memories of DC and Marvel stuff going through my mind. With that being said, is there a character, Bobby, either in the public domain or outside the public domain that you haven't written for that you would like to write for in the future?
Oh, sure.
Oh, really?
Lots of them.
Gee, I wonder
there's
who.
lots
Is it a web slinging, crawling webmeister? Is it him?
It's weird. Spider-Man was kind of my intro to comics and reading and all of that. But for me, my go-to in comics, would be either Thor, Captain America, or the Fantastic Four. That would kind of be my go-to dream gigs, writing one of those. I also do a lot of, because I do a lot of media tie-in, I think I've got at least one good Star Trek novel in me, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of characters like that. There's other characters that you don't know you want to write them until the opportunity comes up. Like I got to write Remo Williams last year. I love Remo Williams, but the thought of writing Remo never popped into my head. Same with Zorro. The thought of writing Zorro never occurred to me until it was offered. But there's all kind of characters that I love from books and comics and movies and TV that would be like, I'll be watching it and I'll go, that would be fun to write. That character would be fun. So yeah, it could be a long list. I could be here all night.
You sure about that? No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to do a show on that, probably we'll save it for next week.
That's right. Yeah, we'll
save
just
it for later in the summer.
I'll just start talking. Yeah, it's like I could just start looking at books on the bookshelf and go, oh, that's a cool character. Oh, that's So, but yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, because I think we all get that kind of way. We kind of, especially if it's a character you've kind of fallen in love with, or you know, they've come to mean something to you. They start talking, or at least they do to me. They start talking to me, and even if, like, why am I getting ideas for this character? I don't work in that world. I don't know the people that own it. I mean, I'm never going to write this character. Why am I getting ideas? But they talk to me, you know.
Yeah, these characters, they talk to me. It happens sometimes. What about you, Kelly? Is there a character inside or outside of public domain that you would like to write for? Maybe the Phoenix one day, maybe Jean Grey, maybe a Cyclops Wolverine type thing. I don't know.
I mean, DC and Marvel definitely need to call me. Absolutely. Like
They
Black
need to call
Canary.
you?
They need to call me. Black Canary, 100%. If we're talking outside of public domain, I've been toying with the Arthurian legends and maybe doing a retelling of something from with those characters at some point. Once I finish my superhero series, that book 3 is coming. But yeah, I would not say no if DC or Marvel called me and wanted to hand me the reins on any of their characters.
Maybe take the characters back to the Savage Land. I don't know.
Ha.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Well, you know, the thing about the Savage Land is that any character sets foot in there, immediately their clothes like all fall off.
Didn't that happen to Rogue at one point? No, I'm sorry.
Every single character who goes to the Savage Land, like their clothes just artfully fall off, just covering the naughty bits.
Is that like a Terminator thing where, you know, when you go to the Savage Land, all your clothes just get torn? Because, you know, when people travel back in time through the Terminator movies, they have to remove all clothing. So
No, that's Marvel. It's just an unstable molecule thing.
Isn't it an unstable molecule there, Bobby? Because you might know more about this than I do. I don't know.
It's just the magic of the Savage Land.
Yeah.
Everyone
Savage
gets
Land?
sexified.
Boy, okay.
So I guess maybe I would write a story that explains why that happens.
Sure, why not? I would read it, right? Bobby and I, all of us sitting here in this studio, we would read it. Sure, why not? I got no problem with that. I'm an X-Men fan. I've been an X-Men fan since '92. No shame. Interesting. What about
I'm sorry.
Oh boy, Savage Land, clothing being lost. Oh boy, this is a nightmare waiting to happen.
I keep getting us off the tracks.
You really do. You're so, but then again, you are a librarian. You're so smart and so good at either keeping us on those rails or taking us completely off the rails. Who knows? It's a mix. It's a bloody mixed bag, y'all.
I even left my book downstairs so I wouldn't be
okay, I have graphics. No, that's okay. We have the graphics here on set, so you're okay. You're in good company.
Sure you do.
Yeah, we do. We got a message from your agent, Crayley. She's cool. We love her to pieces. And Crayley, we love you.
I mean my Book of the Dead, so I wouldn't be tempted.
Oh, Book of the Dead. Sorry, I thought you were talking about your book.
Off track.
Yeah. Never mind. Book of the Dead. In the words of our good friend Jonathan Hyde, you must not read from the book. Anyway, Kelsey, character that's either inside or outside of the flippin' public domain that you would like to write for one day. What do you think?
Mr. Darcy.
Mr. Darcy, really?
Mr. Darcy. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So as a romance author, I feel like there's like a pinnacle of men, and it is Mr. Darcy. So if I feel comfortable and confident enough at any point in my career to tackle some sort of Pride and Prejudice retelling with, I mean, even Lizzie in there, but Lizzie. Mr. Darcy.
Remind me, if you don't mind, who played Mr. Darcy in Keira Knightley's version, or am I missing something?
Matthew McFadden.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think of the actor's name. Couldn't think of it. Very good. This is why we pay everybody the big bucks around here. Sean, any character or characters you like to write for at one point or another?
Oh yeah, my bucket list character is Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Hey, there you go.
That I really want to write. I know there's not a huge fan base or anything nowadays, but that one. And then in terms of the public domain, I'm actually getting to do that one. I feel confident about it now because this summer I plan to finish knocking out the first novel in the first series I'm going to write, and it's going to be called The Jordan Baker Mysteries, featuring Jordan Baker in all of her vileness from The Great Gatsby. We're going to follow her around the golfing tournaments where she ends up solving mysteries, Miss Marple style. So that should be fun.
Oh my!
Kolchak is awesome to write, by the way.
Yeah, Bobby, you know a thing or two because
Yes.
you've done a thing or two,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Kolchak is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, when it comes to me, if something I think this is still in the public domain, if I'm not mistaken. Three Musketeers, does that count?
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. I have a bit of an idea that's roaming around in my head for a Three Musketeers type story because I like swashbucklers. I grew up watching Mask of Zorro all the time, so I like and I grew up watching Kiefer Sutherland, Oliver Platt, Chris O'Donnell before he was Chris O'Donnell, by the way. In the Three Musketeers from Disney, anybody remember that? That was a fun swashbuckler, and still is to this day,
Love
Kelly.
that
I kid you
movie.
not.
Love
That movie is so much fun to watch. Oliver Platt steals every single scene as Porthos in that flippin' movie, and I love it. So I got an idea for a Three Musketeers story if I can do something within the PD, public domain, if anyone's wondering. Outside of that, I mean, this is never going to happen, but wishful thinking. I love Superman, so if I got a chance to write for the Man of Steel one day, because I've watched a lot of different iterations, so I have a pretty good idea of how it rolls. I like to put my own little spin on it. If I could, I would do it. It's a big, like, daunting task to take on for any writer, but I'd still be willing to do it because I love Superman so much. Yeah. And if I can have someone insert the magic words "Kneel before Zod," maybe, just maybe, I can have Terrence Stamp narrate the audiobook. Who knows?
The hardest part with doing when you get hired to do characters like that you don't own.
Yeah, it is hard.
The hardest part is those big ideas that we have are the first thing they tell you can't do.
Yeah, they don't mesh well with the executives, right?
Yes, whenever even like characters that are not as huge, like Kolchak, or they come with such a large Bible of do's and don'ts, and the don't list is quite large. And when you work for publishers and you pitch something, you pitch it, the editor says yay or nay, and then you go write it. When you do characters that other people own or licensed characters, after that stage and the publisher likes it, then it has to go to the people that own the character. And at that point, your story can be kicked for any particular reason. Could be that someone else is there's a movie coming down the line with Zorro in 2 years, and they're going to use that plot point, so you can't do your story or anything like that. And it's not always creative decisions. Like sometimes it's a lawyer going, no, can't do that, because my job is to tell a story. Their job is to protect that character, and their job is to make sure Bobby doesn't ruin Superman, and so they come with a lot more restrictions. So even though it's kind of cool when we go in there going, man, I've always wanted to do this story, a lot of times they'll go, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, because Sean and I even ran into that with the Ruby Files, because we created that, we own that, and we had other writers pitching things, and we got a few pitches that were just like, no. That's like drastic changes to the character, and you kind of have to kind of go, we can't tell that story.
Did you read the story Bible?
yeah. And so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that comes with working with other people's characters, and it's because it's not, because I hear it from a lot of people, especially at conventions. It's like, oh, you're just writing fan fiction. And that's not really the case, because with fan fiction, you can do whatever you want. And there's a lot more rules with doing licensed or corporate owned characters. So just to throw that out there.
Yeah. So in other words, Bobby Nash just dashed all my hopes and dreams.
No, that was not my intention. That was, but
no, you're just being real, man. You're just
right.
being
But
real.
if
you take on this power, you're going to have a greater responsibility, and then DC's going to be breathing down your throat saying, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Right. Well,
don't set him in this city.
Well, and the thing of it is too, I mean, using Superman as an example, Superman is a multi-million-dollar property.
IP, big time.
So when that amount of money, even just writing the comic, which doesn't sell millions and millions, but even that is a part of this big juggernaut. Same with Spider-Man, Batman, any of the, there's a lot more to them than just the book you're writing. So you have to kind of They look at all of that, and so you find yourself as part of the cog in the Superman machine. And so there are certain things where you may go, like, you don't like crypto, but you may go and say, they may hire you, Ryan, you're going to write Superman. Here's what has to be in it. And then they give you the things you have to put in there. And you go, well, I want to use this character. And they're like, nope, can't use that character. Lex Luthor has to be the villain. Or, you sometimes get those kind of notes where you have to work within the framework that they're giving you. So I'm not saying it's not fun, because I have a blast doing licensed characters, but there are more restrictions. Sometimes the fun is in the challenge and telling the story you want to tell within those restrictions. So those are the kind of things.
Thanks, Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. So that's what's coming for me when they ask me to write Superman, and everyone's looking
Superman's
to me
Uncle Ben. Yeah,
they're like, "Don't mess this up, man. It's DC royalty." I'm like, "Yeah, I know it is, because I've been reading and watching it for years, if not decades now, Bobby." So,
it's one of those things too, because when you say to someone, "I'm a Superman fan," that means something different, because someone who's only seen Lois and Clark, it means one thing. Someone who's only seen Smallville, it means something else. Someone who's only watched the cartoon, it means Superman is somebody else. Those are all very different, but all valid versions of Superman. So so it becomes this weird. There's, like I said, just a lot more restrictions on it.
Yeah. Okay. Throw us into the Phantom Zone, why don't you?
Sorry, I mean, like I said, I mean, just for people who are interested in chasing that career trajectory, it is something, because I didn't know that until I got dumped into my first one. And I mean, thankfully, my first licensed property was not a big one. The first thing I did was Green Hornet.
Oh,
and so, which is not a multi-million, as much like a Superman. So there was a little more freedom, but even that was full of restrictions. And so that's just stuff to, if that's a trajectory you would like your writing to go, just something to be aware of.
When I was doing properties like that, the first thing you always had to learn was always put the toys back the way you found them. No sweeping changes, and so, and we see that in DC and Marvel. Every time they make a big change, it's always reset, right?
Yep.
Superman always gets a haircut. Batman's back is fixed, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And even on a smaller note, when I was with iHero Entertainment, people would write in our universe. And we kind of synopsized that down to, don't blow up Cleveland. We're going to need it later. So I always thought that was like the best way of summarizing that. Don't blow up Cleveland. We're going to need that later. So
I explained it this is how I explain it when I talk about writing media tie-in stuff at conventions, on panels. Writing media tie-in or a licensed character is like the original Star Trek series. Almost every episode starts with the Enterprise flying through space. The crew is on the bridge. They're laughing. They're happy. Life is good. Something goes horribly wrong. There's a problem. We have to solve it. And the episode ends with the Enterprise flying through space. Everybody's on the bridge. They're laughing. They're happy. What I'm writing when I'm writing corporate or licensed characters, is what happens between the beginning and the end. And I can do anything there as long as I return it. I put the toy back in the box the way I found it.
Put the bunny back in the box. Sorry, I had to drop a Nick Cage quote on everybody, because Nick Cage, we haven't heard from you in a while, man. So had to drop that in there for you. Anybody remember the little indie film called Con Air? Yeah, with what's his face, John Malkovich, and Cusack was in that too. Yeah, I forgot about that. John Cusack, man, we miss you. You haven't done much lately. I wonder what he's up to. But anyway, is there a genre that any one of you have not written in yet that you would like to dive into somewhere down the line in your career, Kelly?
Murder mystery. I've got one cooking, but murder mysteries are difficult. I am, and actually I've written a murder mystery party. So it's very different, but
I have too.
Of course, we're like the same person.
I love this. Yes, I've written a couple for my friends too.
They're
Mhm.
so fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yes, it is totally different to write like an actual novel that ties
Right.
it all together, but you're still
Novel.
coming up with motives and laying the red herring. So
Mhm.
And it
And
seems
multiple
so obvious
characters.
to you, yeah, because you know it's a clue. Yeah.
mhm.
Gee whiz. It seems like it's a clue. We should take out our handy dandy notebook. Sorry, that's a
Notebook.
reference going back to the Wayback Machine. Sorry.
Because they're whose clues? Blues Clues.
Yeah, all right. Someone caught it. Someone caught it. I knew you would.
I,
Plus, the original 3 hosts of the show, the 3 different iterations that they had over the years, they're all doing conventions now. So you're
Mhm.
bound to run into Steve Burns and all the other 2 gentlemen who have hosted Blues Clues over the many decades it's been on. So if you're ever at a Comic-Con and they're there, say hi. Maybe you can get them to sign your handy dandy notebook. I have no idea. I've seen Steve Burns at Awesome Con and a few other conventions I've been at. Didn't get the chance to sit down and talk to them because, no offense, like I watched a few reruns of it when I was a youngin, but I wasn't like an uber fan or anything like that. But hey, it's great for the kids. It's great for the people who grew up with it. Fantastic. Enjoy yourselves. Outside of the fact that I just made a poor attempt at joking about Blues Clues, Bobby, is there a genre, even though you've written for 50,000 of them already in your 30-year career, that you haven't written in yet that you would want to do somewhere down the
Oh
line?
God. I
Because
I
I feel like
haven't
there's no basis left for you to cover because you've done
I
so much.
I haven't done just straight up drama.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's usually a genre, you know, it's more, it's like I do a lot of mysteries and thrillers but I have a couple of ideas for things that are just more like character based dramas. And I have these 2 ideas that I hope to get to one day, but where it's just, you know, I'm not necessarily there's no guns, there's no shooting, there's no, you know, you know, I mean, I may or may not kill people. That's, you know, debatable, but yeah, trying something like that. At some point in my life, I would like to attempt some more fantasy. I don't do a lot of fantasy. I just don't think I write it well. I do the occasional odd short story, but that's about it. I would like to maybe give it a try down the road. I just don't have the right idea yet. So
It's coming. It's coming. What about you, Sean? Is there a genre you haven't dove into yet you'd like to somewhere down the line?
I've pretty much been able to write in just about every genre I want to, thanks to short stories. But because I've done so many. I really enjoyed writing a sort of sword and sandal kind of thing. I don't like traditional fantasy so much, but I did enjoy writing this sort of female Conan kind of story that was a lot of fun, and that would be fun to go back and revisit, I think. But no, I you know, anything that I'm interested in writing, I've turned it in and I've written it in a short story somewhere before. So yeah, I just, if I get an idea or there's something I want to try because I'm writing short stories, that is one of the benefits of that is you can just knock something out, turn it in, get that out of your system, or find out that you enjoyed it and keep doing more.
All right, understandably so. All right, a little bit of a sword. What is it? Sword and sorcery, a little bit there, sword and sandals kind of thing, right? So that.
Yeah, basically, sword and sandals for me is no magic. You know, there's no magic system involved, really. You know, it's outside the fact that you might have monsters around. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All I can say to that, and potentially what was it? You mentioned something about a female Conan story.
Yes! That's awesome!
I mean, sign me up, man. Let's go.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Oh boy, this is why we have pop culture.
Yeah, it was for Black Pulp 2, which was really good. The character was on the cover of Black Pulp 1, and I was like, hey, did anybody write a story with her? And the publisher said no. I said, good, can I? And next thing I know, I was doing that story for the second volume. So yeah.
Boy, fortune favors the bold. So
Yeah.
well done, Sean. Excellent. What about what was it, Kelsey? Any genre you want to dive into somewhere in your career that you haven't dove into yet?
I think rather than a genre, maybe a style of writing, which would be like screenplay.
Ooh.
Because I know writing screenplay is different than writing novels because it's adapting everything. So I think diving into something like that would be something that I would like to see my career go to. At this point in my career, I would be hesitant to write science fiction, not because I don't enjoy the genre, but because I don't know the nuances of the world building and how the Keller converter can do the thingamabob with the blasting ray. Yeah. So all of the nuances to the sciencey stuff is daunting to me as well.
Understandably so. That and this thingamabob, I got 20. Sorry, that's going back to way back.
That's a good
my
one.
favorite Disney movie growing up. That was my favorite growing up. Yes,
That was
Aladdin was really close in there. It was one of my favorites, but Ariel was my girl.
Ariel was your girl.
I'm still a Belle.
Oh, you're
I
Belle.
know that's very cliche, but
Bonjour.
I love Belle too.
Give me a castle in the woods with a big library, and I'm a happy person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gee,
Well,
I'm
I
old.
always
Man.
wanted
For
to
me,
be a
it's the
mermaid.
Rescuers.
Rescuers. Wow.
Yeah, for me, it's the Rescuers, but I'm old, so yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Are you referring to the original or are you referring to Rescuers Down Under?
Oh, the original.
Okay, because I'm a Rescuers Down Under fan through and through. So but that's just me.
Yeah,
because McLeach is a great villain.
My intro to Disney was The Jungle Book. So
yeah, baby.
Oh, yep.
So that was the first movie I saw in the theater. Well, not in the theater. We saw it at the drive-in.
Drive-in, man.
There was a double. It was a double feature. Here were my first two movies: The Jungle Book and Star Wars is a double feature. That was my first two movies.
What?
Best weekend ever.
Yes,
ever.
That was awesome. It was because my parents were not movie people, so
they weren't.
It was like, ooh, this was and I was young, so when I was probably 7, I guess.
Wow.
But yeah, but it was a fun day. But those were, and those two movies really hooked me on loving.
You think
those types of stories? Yes. So.
I mean, Star Wars changed the way we looked at movies and storytelling forever. Yeah. Thank you, George Lucas, who just celebrated, what was it, his 84th, 85th birthday, whatever it was?
Something like that.
I mean, my gosh. Woo. Thank you, GL. Thanks, George Lucas. Well done, man. Wow, that's a great weekend at the drive-in. Yeah. Honestly. I mean, that's better than Dottie attempting to score a date with Pee Wee Herman in 85. To go to the drive-in because Pee Wee kept telling her, "You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me, Dottie. I'm a loner, rebel." So
that was also the day I was introduced to the Avengers because before the movie started, the drive-in had like the flea market.
No way.
And so my parents let me buy some comics, and I bought like an Avengers comic.
Was that like the best day of your life?
That's like the best day of
it was a really great day as a kid. Yes.
Can we take a DeLorean, go 88 miles per hour, see some serious shit, and go back and relive this with Bobby as a kid? Because honestly,
the best day ever.
That's like three of the best things that any kid can experience.
That's the best thing that I could experience as an adult. Okay.
Yeah, well, Kelly,
right?
Sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
Next to the day I got married and the day my children were born.
Yeah.
Bless those hearts, by the way.
I have to throw that in.
Yeah, you had to throw in the family card in there, Kelly. But
just in case they're watching.
Just in case
watching.
watching.
They're in the other room watching this right now, actually, probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I've never been to I'll be honest with you, and this is going to shock the entire world who's watching this right now. I've never been to a drive-in.
That's actually not surprising because they're
so rare.
No, but there is one not far from me. There is one not far from me here in Maryland because I'm on Maryland on the East Coast for everyone who's wondering geographically where I'm located. It's called Benji's Drive-In, and they show 3 movies a week, and I still have never been. And my friend keeps telling me, you have to go to Benji's, you have to go to Benji's, you have to go to the drive-in. I'm like, what? Happened yet?
Well, in the 70s,
I've only been once. They're so
in the
cool.
70s, they were a lot more of them around.
There was a lot more business going on at the time. Yeah.
Because I remember
where I grew up, that's all we had was a drive-through.
Yeah.
True.
Drive-in, not a drive-through.
Drive-through?
Don't drive through the screen.
I don't think we drove through the screen. Did we, like Marty did in 1885 there, Sean? Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah, ironically, we watched Gator when it was a drive-through, and we were in a boat. But, but it was for anybody else old enough to get that one, basically Bobby.
I remember ours. There were three of them. I mean,
near your house.
There were 3 screens.
Oh,
so
well.
Like if you got tired of the movie you were watching, you could watch it.
There were 3
hear
screens.
but you could watch it.
Is that even legal? I thought there was only one. But anyway, there's a screen.
Well,
there's a drive-in near my house. So one of
back
these
then.
days, I'm going to sit down and go with a friend of mine because my friend has been telling me to go for years. But wow, what a way to experience the nerdiness of life with
Yeah.
Jungle Books and Avengers and freaking Star Wars. My gosh.
Yeah, it was a good day. It's a good. I mean, hey, here I am.
I'd lose my
years
ever-loving
later
mind.
talking about it. So, yeah. So,
Honestly, we've all had good movie-going experiences in our lives, I'm sure, whether it be in the drive-in or in an actual, physical, movie theater type thing. But wow, man, Bobby,
that was a good day.
Bobby, you're so money, man. You're money. You don't even know it. Honestly. Great stuff. So for me, I'd like to write a story in the swashbuckling genre if I could. I hope that happens somewhere down the line, whether it's with the Three Musketeers as part of the public domain, or maybe just something I create on my own. I have to do a lot of research though. That's going to take a minute. But I'd like to write a swashbuckling story if I could. Short story, because I'm into writing short stories at the moment, which, by the way, Sean, you were mentioning this earlier. Kelsey and I are working on some short stories, so don't worry. We'll satisfy the hunger there for you. It's coming. It's coming. Short stories are coming, folks. Stay tuned. Ryan's stuff's going to get published here pretty soon. Kelsey's got ideas coming through. It's going to happen.
I'm working on an anthology with Crayley and our friend Hollis. So.
Oh, really?
They're all fairy tales. So I don't know if you like retold fairy tales, but yes, we've got a whole anthology cooking.
Congratulations. Look forward to seeing that once more information becomes available to the public, and we'll share it out on our social media streams for sure. Speaking of which, Kelly, your good friend Hollis is going to be with us on And I Quote here in the next week or so. He's going to be on next week. So, hey, go figure.
Hollis is amazing.
Is he?
I'm a fan.
No, I'm just kidding. I know he is. Hollis, if you're watching this, buddy, we look forward to talking to you here in the near future. With that being said, we got lots of ideas for the future. We're excited about these stories that are going to be coming out in the near future, right? We're excited to see where our writing journeys in our own individual way, but also as a community and as a family goes. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for being a part of this episode of the Writer Showcase on And I Quote channel. Thank you all for being here. This has been amazing, and I'm so jello of Bobby right now that I want to take my DeLorean time machine, go back to the year that was, go see Jungle Book and Star Wars and read some Marvel comics at the drive-in, outside the drive-in. It doesn't matter. Let's do it. Let's go. Because when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, Bobby, we're going to see some serious shit.
Take me with you. I'd love to relive that.
Let's do it, man. Let's go. Doc Brown, send me my flipping car, man. Because if you're going to build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style? Anyway, sorry. I'm going off on a movie quote tangent. Kelly, my awesome-tacular BFF, if someone else wants to know more about you, purchase copies of your New York Times best-selling books, where can they follow you, Kelly?
So Phoenix's Entertainment, pretty much any social media. That's where you can find all my cosplay, podcasts, book stuff. Or you can go to PhoenixSistersEntertainment.com and find out more there.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. You're the best. Kelly, going to talk to you here again momentarily. Kelsey, you may have just published your first book, but you're already making a huge splash in the world and in the indie writing market. But if someone wants to know more about you, purchase a copy of your wonderful book, where can they follow you?
Absolutely. You can follow me at author Kelsey Winton. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. That's about all I can handle. I do have a Discord that you can links in the bio to all my socials to find. And you can look up my debut novel, Games of Tangled Hearts, on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited.
Splendid. Congratulations to you once again. Can't wait to see what comes next for you now with this book being out to the public and all that jazz. So Kelsey, stick around. Talk to you here soon. Love you. Bobby, if someone wants to know more about you and the incredible things you've done and relive your childhood by taking a DeLorean time machine back to the year that was 1967, 77, whatever it was. 77, great year too. It was great. It was great. Thank you, George Lucas. But if someone wants to know more about you, purchase copies of your books, keep up to date with all the billions of things that you're doing every single minute of every single flipping day, where can they follow you?
Well, BobbyNash.com is my website. There's links to all my social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blues. I'm on a bunch of them. You can find me there. My books are available at the usual places: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, various other online retailers, ebooks, audiobooks, paperbacks, hard, you name it, they're out there. So yeah, find me, say hello. That's my most recent release, which is, you were talking about public domain characters. Secret Agent X is an old public domain character from the 30s and 40s. So I originally wrote that for another publisher, and then some things happened and the rights reverted to me, so I released that through my indie press recently.
Wow, look at you. All the creative maneuverabilities of Bobby Nash. Good stuff, man. Thanks for being here, dude. Really appreciate you're a gentleman and a scholar. Sean, the bookman, Taylor, my man. Someone wants to know more about you. Where can they follow you on social media?
You can go to my website at thetaylorverse.com or thetaylorverse.com, however you pronounce that article. Or you can go to my writing blog, which is badgirlsgoodguys.com. Or you can find my books at taylorversebooks.com. And either one of those things is going to have link outs to all of my social media, which is usually at Sean H. Taylor. I'm pretty easy to find. I am out everywhere. And that's me. Pretty easy to find.
All right. Well, thank you, kind sir, for being here. Do greatly appreciate it. I'm going to talk to you here again momentarily, so stick around if you can. We would appreciate it. My name is Ron of Anti-Quote Channel. Follow me across all forms of social media, simply at Anti-Quote Channel. Links to where you can follow myself and all the wonderful writers we've had on this episode of the Writer Showcase are, in fact, located down below in the description of this episode. So check it out. There you go. There's another poor impression for you. Also, we're in the middle of I'm a member of a writers Discord, and we're talking about Men's Adventure Fiction May. So if you're looking for men's adventure fiction books out there, there's plenty to choose from. Fire in the Tall Grass by Luke Goodich is out right now on Amazon. You can check that out there. If you want an Indiana Jones type feel, maybe a Tomb Raider kind of deal, it's called Morona Grant and the Lost Tomb of Golgotha, written by Brina Williamson. Happy birthday, Brina Williamson. Hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. If you want some sword and sorcery, we got The Known World of Atera, The Prisoner of Ruhak Tower, written by Grayson D. Sullivan. Yes. That is available. As well. Another treasure hunter story, Legend of Yashimida's Treasure, written by J.C. Alba, is out now, so you can check that out. And a good friend of the show, Dr. Richard A. Olson, has a new book out called South of the Border. It's Scotland Border Agent, book number 2. If that's not a badass looking cover, I don't know what is. That is fantastic. Congratulations, Dr. Richard A. Olson. All the writers we've mentioned on this episode and everyone who's been on this episode of the Writer Showcase. Fear not, the Writer Showcase will be back for another episode in the month of June. It'll drop on Saturday, June the 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And guess what? We've already lined up 2 of the 4 seats have already been filled for next month's episode of the Writer Showcase. Isn't life grand? It's exciting. I'm excited. I hope you who are watching and listening to this are excited. We cannot wait to share that with you in the month of June. Anti-Quotes on Saturdays, 12 p.m. EST. Movie watch-alongs are on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be doing a special Marvel Cinematic Universe roundtable discussion where we have each one compiles a list of their favorite 5 MCU movies ranked. So if anyone's a fan of Marvel and you're a fan of the MCU, tune in for that on Friday, June the 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Kelly, since you're a X-Men Phoenix fan, may want to tune in for some Marvel goodiness on Friday the 6th of June. It's going to be one heck of a wild ride. And don't worry, we're not going to transport anyone on the panel, much less myself, to the Savage Land, okay? Because I prefer to keep all articles of clothing intact, all right? Keep that in mind, folks. It's real. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go up or they go live. Remember, life is better when supporting indie creators from all over the world, because all you got to do it's a simple thing we all have to do, folks. It's called take a look. It's in a book. Take a look at this.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasmafire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
I've been a superhero for a long time. It used to be so simple. You catch the bad guys, do the right thing, save the world. Then I met Aiden, and things got complicated.
Iris recruited me as a kid and turned me into their own personal weapon. I couldn't see any way out until I met Marty. But now we're going to burn their entire organization down if we can.
Forces of Nature, books 1 and 2, Scorcher and Thin Ice are available now wherever books are sold online. See www.kellygentner.com.
Hey everyone, Bonnie Gordon from Star Trek Prodigy here. Make sure to tune into And I Quote podcast on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe.